Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and this is your weekly tarot card reading. And for this reading, I'm using my Dame Darcy tarot cards. Okay, so I think I will draw 3 cards to just get kind of an overview of the upcoming energies of the week, just so we can get kind of a snapshot of what kind of opportunities are going to be there for us, what kind of challenges, just so we can start off the week feeling somewhat informed and inspired. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out so we can see all the cards. Okay, so I'll start with the first card, which is going to represent Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so we've got 7 of Pentacles, and the first thing I notice about this card, I always like to kind of pay attention to the first thing that pops out of the card when I turn it over. So the first thing I notice about this card is the treasure chest. So there's an open treasure chest, and then there's pentacles, like little coins, kind of bubbling up, floating up from that treasure chest. So the traditional meaning of the 7 of Pentacles is basically all about patience. If you have the Rider-Waite deck, you'll know that this card, it doesn't have a mermaid, it's got a gardener, and he's leaning on his rake, and he's like looking at his crops. So it's he's kind of like waiting for them to grow, waiting for them to bloom. So this is about being patient, particularly with, you know, seeds that you've planted, so things that you've just started or ideas that you've had. It's really important to have patience and know that changes are happening under the surface, even though they might be kind of slow to show up on the surface. So you may not see the results of your efforts right away. It might take a little bit of time, and that can be so like demotivating when you're putting in effort and you're not seeing changes or you're not seeing results. It can be really demotivating. So I feel like this card comes at the beginning of the week to say, like, hey, like, you know, just chill out, keep your chin up. Things are progressing nicely for you, and things are happening, and yes, your efforts are having an effect, even if you don't see them just yet. So, you know, be patient. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we've got the King of Wands, and I really like this card in this deck. I don't normally like the King of Wands necessarily, but in this particular mermaid deck, I really like this card. So the King of Wands is actually a very powerful card. So the King, you know, has all that kind of masculine energy, which is about, you know, taking action, being proactive. And then the Suit of Wands is about energy and fire and creativity. So I feel like for whoever is watching this, this card is basically encouraging you to take action on your creative ideas and some of your creative dreams, whatever that looks like for you. So don't put things off anymore. You know, don't, and I want to refer back to the 7 of Pentacles, because sometimes the trap with this card, it might be like, I'm putting in effort, nothing's really happening, so I think I'm going to wait until I start to see results before I put in more effort. And that can be a mistake. So the King of Wands is saying, don't put off, you know, going after, you know, don't put off putting energy into your, you know, creative projects. So if you have an idea for something, or there's something you're really passionate about or fiery about, you know, take action on it, even if it's a small action. Don't feel like you have to wait until it's the right time, because there may never be a right time. So yeah, that's what I feel like the message is for this week. And then over to the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we've got Ace of Wands, and aces are always so powerful. It's interesting, we didn't get any major arcana cards in this reading, but I feel like King of Wands and Ace of Wands are 2 very, very powerful cards. They're both Wands cards. So again, the Ace of Wands is basically kind of what I just said about the King of Wands. It's about, you know, getting an idea or some inspiration for some kind of either like a creative project, maybe a business idea, some kind of career path that you're just starting on, but you have that spark of inspiration and that, that spark of energy and passion for something. And because it's an ace, this is also about, starting something new, like a new phase. So definitely this week is a great time to start new projects, but more than anything, to actually just start. You might not be starting a project, but start taking action on, start taking action towards what is important to you, what you want to create. So something, it's kind of like a little journaling exercise that you can do today is think about, what is really important to you in terms of like creating things. So if you could only say create 3 things in your lifetime, like only 3 things, like what would those 3 things be that you would want to create? And it doesn't have to be like a physical thing, obviously. Like it might be an organization or a group or a form of fitness or something like that, charity or something. So just kind of have an open mind when you go into it. Another good question to ask is, if I could only focus on one thing today, what would it be? Because I think so many of us have like multiple things that we're trying to juggle from day to day. And just kind of play with that idea. If I could only, or if I only had to focus on one thing today, what would that one thing be? And just really start thinking about, where you want to be putting your energy. And it's also important to notice where your energy is going right now. So throughout your day, like how much energy are you spending just kind of dicking around, doing, pointless tasks? Because sometimes we think that we need to be doing those pointless tasks, but we actually don't. Or there's a way to kind of shorten the amount of time we dedicate to those things. So for example, like social media is a good example, because I think lots of people spend lots of time on Facebook or like checking their phones or checking their email and stuff like that. And it can add up to like a lot of time. And if that is like a satisfying activity for you, then that's fine. But if you feel like it's not a satisfying activity and you kind of forget about it once it's happened, it doesn't really like enrich your life in any way, then you might want to think about, like, okay, how much time am I willing to spend on this? So yeah, just really notice like where your energy is going and where your creativity is going. Like, are you using your creativity in your life as much as you like, or do you want to be using it more? Are you squandering some of your creativity because you just don't have time, or you don't have, energy at the end of the day, you're too tired after work and stuff? So really kind of drilling down on that whole idea of creativity and energy and how you're spending your life and your energy. So I just want to zoom out and kind of look at all these cards together, see if anything else is popping out at me. And as you look at these cards, notice if there's any like repetitive themes popping out at you. Like, are you noticing any repetitive colors or repetitive symbols popping out at you? What's jumping out at you? And then once you've figured out what's and it doesn't have to be something that's in all 3 cards. It could just be something in one card that's really popping out at you. And then really kind of play around with that concept or that symbol and ask yourself what that means to you and if it has any significance to your life right now and what's going on in your life right now. So that's just kind of something fun that you can kind of play around with after you watch this reading. So that's been your weekly tarot card reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. And once again, my name is Kate. I'm from dailytarotgirl.com, and you can check out my website for free tarot tips, videos, deck reviews, learning tutorials, and so much more. Thanks again for watching.